Gentlemen, and welcome to follow COS Racing. Tonight we're on round 2 in China, and it seems like we have heavy rain coming. It doesn't seem like the rain is gonna stop. We have people in the rooftops without any umbrellas. They're just watching the race as we have our first cars out. To a quick preview of Australia race, the top 3 was Mabel winning, dominate style, Thomas in second, and Tetsumoto in third place. Let's see how this race is gonna turn out as we have new rookie joining us. I think he's George Alice. He's in this lobby. At least he was in yes, he is George Alice. Here is number 11. So this China race, nothing too spectacular. Everybody knows this track. 19 corners, 18 corners, really tricky to drive. You either like this track or you don't like this track, as we have now a couple of drivers going on the track. I don't know, is the weather gonna be more clear out or not, but we will see that soon, as we have a ghost in our outlap. And bear with me as I try to send the invite, but my device is not coping with me, so hold your hats. Don't do anything foolish. I hate doing this job. I mean, sending the links. It's the least favorite thing because my freaking phone doesn't upgrade so fastly. Yeah, I don't have anything. So yeah, I might send after the race actually the link. So it's tough luck. Yeah, we have Sammy Butter. We have everybody on outlap. Unfortunately, I cannot send the link with my iPad. It actually takes time. It literally takes 10 minutes to find the links. I'm not quite happy of that. Oh, there we go. There we go. The link is here. I'll try to talk something so that you guys won't get bored. But come on, my Nokia is not cooperating with me. There we go. And if you didn't notice, I'm doing a solo commentating tonight. So no co-commentators, nothing. This is like Eric TV, what I've always dreamed of. And we have a first viewer actually, and now I have to send all the freaking links to the chat. Woohoo! There we go. Here's the first link, and here comes the second link. Oh, I almost sent a link to TUF. Oh, Jesus Christ, that would have been mad. And yeah, there we go. Freaking Nokia. There we go. And now we can do qualification. And is anybody on the outlap? Is anybody on the fast lap? We have a neat line, and we have Sammy Butters Cup going to the first sector. I missed it completely, but 28.5. Can't remember is it good or not. Need to compare to other drivers. He's coming towards to the tricky turns of quick left and right handers. You can easily lose the car in these corner sections. And as it seems like he does those perfectly, no big mistakes, but he has a lot of fuel. He has fuel for 2 or 3 laps, so I don't think this is gonna be his best lap. It's like a banker lap. Then if he feels like he can do a better lap, then he will do another lap. But we will see quick laps, I think, in the end only, because I really do not know about the weather. Is it gonna dry out or not? But that's the fun thing of being a commentator. You never know what's gonna happen. It can happen in blink of an eye. Like, you think everything is clear, but then, boom, no. We'll have P20 who takes pole position because the weather is gonna change drastically. And we have 2 viewers now. Welcome to COS. Do not adjust the TV sets as you're watching COS TV. This actually should be the name COS TV. We might change that name, but anyways, now towards the qualifying, Sammy Butters Cup does the final sector. But he does a 1:49.1. Let's see, who's the Williams? I think it's George Alice. Yes, no, it's Ghost. He does a 1:47.6. And we have a Ghost starting his lap, doing another lap, I apologize. Now we have McLaren. I still don't remember the names, don't remember the cars, don't remember anything, but I see there were no car. We have Rossi, we have a lot of TUF drivers actually driving tonight, which is really great. They're not racing tonight in TUF Division 2, so they're racing in COS, as we have vertical loops doing 1:47.3, and we have a Renault sideways, parking his car to the grass, and we have Mabel in 4th place. Mabel doing very bad job at the moment. Where's Chris Logan? He's coming towards the long straight line. We have George Alice. George Alice, the new rookie, the Greek god, the wrestling god, the George Alice himself doing a 146.8, taking pole at the moment by 5/10. That's brilliant to see from the new rookie. I know George Alice personally, he's a very fast driver, as Peter Deal does 148 as he goes P6. Versus Chris Logan, I'm gonna follow the leader, the god, the creator of this amazing world, this amazing COS league, and he's coming towards the line, but it's only enough for P7. This was actually his qualifying position from Australia, and we have Mercedes running wide. We have Tetsuya Mutsa. That's name what I would imagine a Japanese karate school would use for a student who is just beginning his draftings. Never mind of that, as he does 146.9, he loses to George Alice 1/10 of a second, and now I'm gonna test the voice. Great commentary already. Thank you, Darth Vader. I'm testing my voice. Yeah, perfect, but beautiful voice. I just love to hear my own voice. That's lovely the thing. But now Wossi, we have actually 4 drivers from TUF. That's really impressive. And Wossi, I'm following him because he's a surprise of the season in TUF, and yeah, he goes wide. That's his qualification. I think he still has fuel for another lap, but the time is running out. Maybe drivers pitting and taking new set of inters. What do I know? I'm just a commentator commentating this thing. And we have Tetsuya Mutsa, who's actually improving. We have George Alice. I'm gonna follow him. He's improving by 3.5 tenths. But we know George Alice's pace. At least I know him personally. He's a personal friend of mine. He's a very good friend. But he's going to the pit, so it was. He's thinking actually that should I improve now by 3 tenths, or should I pit and improve by 7 tenths? That's actually really smart thinking from George Alice. As Tetsuya Mutsa is improving by 2 tenths, but is he gonna finish his lap, or is he gonna go to the pits? He has 4 laps of fuel. He has 5 laps of fuel. I mean 4 laps, but you can maybe do 3 laps with it, as he drifts a little bit like a rally driver. But he's coming towards the back straight, which is actually the second longest straight in this in Formula 1. Well, we don't know, because Baku might actually get removed, and Miami will maybe replace Baku, but that's for speculations only. That's how we're gonna find out that next season Ripple 1 retires. I'm gonna soon check what the hell happened to him. Apologize for my language, this is not PG-TV, but Tetsuya Mutsa is coming towards the line. As he improves, he does 146.5. He takes pole position at the moment by 2 tenths. I have a little bit of pole analogy still, and he just decided to retire. He feels that he didn't have enough time, and that's going to be P11 at this time for him. Oh yeah, we have actually Ghost in the Williams. Actually, Williams is still really good in this game, but in real life, if they had the 2018 mod, the Williams would be slower than Sauber. At least the drivers are not as good as rest of the grids. But anyways, now we have actually this guy, this Profortes guy, this is actually also a new rookie in the league. He's driving for Haas Formula 1 team, the American team, which was bought by what was his name, Haas, that Haas owner, and then Gunther Steiner, the rat-looking Switzerland guy or French guy, I don't know. But Profortes, the Greek metallurgist, does a lap time of 147 flat, so he goes P3. Actually, at least Profortes sounds like a Greek professor. It sounds like it's a Greek god, the name, but he can be some Puerto Rican slut, I don't know, who knows. But Mebel, the last race winner there, who took the first win of the season, he's in lean mix. He's just having fuel. It doesn't have enough fuel for another lap. Maybe he does. You only need 1.40 here. And Profortes, he's improving by 5. No, that was glitch. He's actually not improving. He's losing 91 thousandths of a second. Where's Tetsuya Mutsa, the karate kid from Japan, the young sensei? He's coming towards the final corner in his Ferrari. He's coming towards the last corner, so he's gonna improve his time yet again. Yes, he will. He does a 146.337, but we need to see what the Greek god does in P2, the George Alice, the great one. And we have Profortes in P3. We have Fruity, Ghost, Mebel, all the challengers who are possible to take the pole position. Of course, Thomas, who's now P15. I spoke with Thomas before this race. I spoke with him 2 days ago, and he said this is not one of his favorite tracks, but usually, even if it's not your favorite track, you can maybe get to top 10. It's always damage limitation, because every single driver here has one track where they're not very good or where they're not very comfortable. And thank you for joining to this COS TV. Do not adjust the TV sets. This is end of qualification, 1 minute 45, as we have Tetsa, George Ellis and Forest in the top 3. George Ellis, the new rookie, challenging brilliantly the top guys, as we have George Ellis. I'm gonna keep following him and Son on the 3 MUFC with his car. I don't know the reason, but he does the car as George Ellis is coming towards the corners, first corner sections. He does those brilliantly, not any single oversteer. It's very easy to get oversteer in the rain in China as he's coming towards the first sector time. It has to be 27 something, I don't know what it has to be, but 28 flat. I don't know is that good or not, but he has filled for another lap as there 1 minute 10 left of qualification. And George Ellis is our apologize, Jensen is retiring, but we don't have time to watch that. The TV man, the cameraman wants to watch George Ellis in the screen. He wants to see, is he going to challenge for pole position, or is he going to be in P2 in his debut? We don't know. He might get to P5, P6, P7, we don't know. This is Formula 1. This is the most entertaining sport in the whole humankind, because anything can happen in Formula 1. It's the pinnacle of motorsport, as Peter Dell retires the car for some reason, I don't know why, but George Ellis is coming towards the back straight, the second longest straight in Formula 1 after Azerbaijan straight, which is 2.1 kilometers long, as George Ellis does it flat out brilliantly, but he has fuel for another lap, but it's gonna be enough. There's only 23 seconds left in the clock, and it's going to be 50-50, is he going to make it to the lap or not? But we are following George Ellis. If somebody is going to improve the time, I'm going to inform you, but you can maybe see it for yourselves as he goes to the second gear brilliantly. Maybe he could have gone to the first gear and then second, but he goes a little bit wide, but I don't think it's going to affect his time, because of course the track gets better, you improve your time even if you drive really bad lap, but it goes wide. But we'll see he's going to improve his time as he does 1:46.3, and that's current pole position by 37 thousandths of a second to Tetsumutsa, but Tetsumutsa is improving by 2.5 tenths his lap. And we have Fude, we have Ghost, we have Mebel coming, who hits the wall and does a Gutierrez, and the ground was banging him. That car lost its innocence. That car has been sexually harassed. This just turned out to be a CSI episode, but anyways, we have Tetsumutsa, we have Mutsa Tetsa, the karate kid from Japan, the young sensei, driving towards the second longest straight line in Formula 1. He brakes his car currently on 150 meters. He locks up his tires, but he goes second gear. It's very difficult without assist, without traction. It seems like Tetsumutsa is going without assist or traction. And we have Chris Longer says, hey Eric, hello Chris. And now we have Tetsumutsa going wide, but he's going to improve his lap time. Yes, he is. He did a 1:45.8. Brilliant pole position time by Tetsumutsa. Do we still have few drivers who can improve their lap time? We don't know what's going to happen. Where's the Thomas the Tank? Thomas the Dutch Tank. The Dutch Lion. Is it going to be a Dutch Lion lap? We'll see. The Williams is not very good in rain, but if you have a decent driver, he can, but he's not going to be improving. Or is it? Yes, he is. He goes P5 actually, but 1.3 seconds from pole position. And Aldoro, out of nowhere, takes P3. Brilliant drive from Aldoro. The Aldoro, the famous, as Sao Paulo used to say, famous Irish UFC fighter, but it's not the same Aldoro. So if you're watching the stream, other regards from you, from Eric. And now we have Porfodes, Thomas, Ghost. We have Butters, who's not improving. I'm gonna check what nationality is Porfodes. Porfodes is Dutch, but he has a Greek name. He has that Greek mythological name inside of him. I'm gonna soon say the top 10, but it was brilliant qualification, I must say. Anybody who stood out, Mebel only in P10, so Tetsumutsa must be very happy of that. Mebel, the famous Mebel, who won in Australia by 18 seconds, is P10. Maybe the no assist thing is not so easy in rain. Well, I've at least noticed that so many times. And we have Butters, who went to the pit, so we have to wait. There we go. And the grid is Tetsa, George Ellis, Aldoro, your top 3, ladies and gentlemen. Porfodes P4, Thomas P5, Ghost P6, Funkhood P7, Chris Logan P8, Rossi P9, Mebel P10, Sean P11, Peter Dell P12, David King P13, Sammy Butters P14, Whippen 1 P15, Jensen P16, the Fallen P17, and Kevin, who got disqualified. I don't know his real name Kevin, but Jamie called it Kevin in Australia, so all the kudos to him. So you are Dutch Kevin. I mean Hungarian Kevin. I apologize for viewers if you got offended by that, but now the race starts. Maybe if it's dry race, we're gonna see interesting strategies. Has someone taken dry setup, or has someone taken wet setup? Oh, it looks like it's dry, so I must assume that most of the drivers took the dry setup. But looking at the times of top two of Jojalis and who's the other guy, Tetsu Mutsa, they got almost 145s, and you don't do that with dry setups. That's just one rule. But we will see. Is it gonna affect the race pace, or is it gonna not affect? Because it actually can be also a race setup, and if it's raining, it can actually delta himself out. But yeah, now we have 13 seconds, 12 seconds, 11 seconds. We have 10 seconds till Charlie gives permission for 5 red lights, and then it's away we go to the second race of China. Now we have still 2 drivers in formation lap, still going out to the grid, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. They have 5 red lights, and away we go for the Chinese Grand Prix. It looks like the Ferrari gets an excellent start. The Mercedes stacks to the grid a little bit, but the Ferrari also actually tells us the Ferrari. Jojalis has the inside line. They go side by side with the Ferrari. We have a Haas, Williams and Mercedes fighting with each other. There's a huge crash in sector 1. There are a few drivers losing positions, but Jojalis took the lead from Tetsu Mutsa. Tetsu Mutsa is second. Thomas moved out to P3. Brilliant drive from him, and Pofores is side by side with Pofores and Thomas, and Pofores keeps the third position, but we have a Thomas who's in P4. He's forcing Pofores to the outside line. Pofores goes wide, has to dodge for Tetsu Mutsa, and he lost many positions. There's a huge crash. There's a Williams, there's a Red Bull, there's a McLaren, there's Renault going wide. Is anybody retired? We have Chris Logan retiring. He's lost his wheel. That's very unfortunate for him. We have few employed losses from P14, P15, P6. There's a huge pile up. There's a huge train going around Mabel. I don't know what the hell happened in the start in the back markers, but that's for viewers to decide what happened. You can send your clips to Supply. And there's a Red Bull diving up the inside of. Ooh, that was Fudi. Fudi lost positions to Sean. Sean made a huge dive bomb, and I saw that. Jensen did a huge dive bomb also, and we have cars running wide. But now to the top 3 fight, we have Thomas challenging Tetsu Mutsa for the second position. At least his pace in the dries is very good. And now we have Chris Logan saying David knocked me out. Well, that's for later investigations after the race. Charlie's not gonna investigate these situations now. And now Thomas is following Tetsu as Jojalis does the fastest lap of 1:37.9. That's a pretty good opening lap from him. And we have McLaren looking up the inside of Thomas, showing I'm still here. If you wanna dance, I will dance. Can you talk the talk, or can you walk the walk? That's the question. And it looks like Thomas is losing a little bit of time to Tetsu Mutsa now. But Jojalis is pulling away from Tetsu, and as I said, Jojalis very fast driver, very promising driver. He has all the possibilities to be a champion in this league, to fight for the championship with any single driver here. Now we have Aldova, who's had a very bad start. He qualified P3 and now he's P5, but still pretty decent race going on. We don't know. He started with soft tires. Actually, let's put the soft tires on. Yeah. We have 3 drivers with super softs, and we have almost the rest of the drivers with softs and mediums. Apologize, there's a Sammy Butterscott who's in P9 who's with super softs. We'll see the tire differences very soon. But Tetsu Mutsa actually he's gonna have tire advantage over Jojalis in the next 8 laps, I think, or 7 laps. It depends how well Jojalis can save his tires. Actually, let's put the fuels on. Oh yeah, Jojalis is actually a very small driver. He's using standard and lean, so he tries to extend his first stint and maybe pit for the softs. That's a brilliant strategy from him. I will follow his fuel usage a little bit, but I can't for long because there's a huge battle for P3. There's 3 cars fighting for that position as Jojalis does the lap time of 1:36.8, which is very good. And we have Rossi challenging Thomas up the inside. He shows, but he backs out of it. Rossi actually, who's a very on and off driving TF as he goes side by side with Thomas, and it looks like Wossi has the better line, but is Thomas gonna do the Wolfsburg? Yes, he does. They go side by side in this corner, and I think Wossi has to back out of it as Thomas still keeps the position, but Wossi is gonna use the slipstream. He has the inside line. Is Thomas gonna defend the inside line? Yes, he is, but Wossi tries to dive over the outside line. What a brilliant camera angle this is. I would want a better camera angle, and he did a switch back to him. He did a switch back. They do side by side. His left winger. Who's gonna back out of it? And it's Thomas, and that was brilliant overtake by Wossi, and Wossi is going to challenge Tetsamutsu now. Both the drivers are with super softs. We have Aldo who has excellent pace with the softs. We're going to see soon that Aldo is going to show how he says the things are. He says he's a former AOR driver in Division 3, but yeah, we'll see his pace soon. And we have Tetsamutsu as well, already 2.2 seconds behind of Georgalis. And now I'm going to see podcast angle. He uses switch mix in the straight lines, but I'm going to see under the braking how is it going to be. And Georgalis, is he going to use the lean mix strategy that he uses lean mix in the braking and in the corners? Yeah, you go standard and he goes linear. He saves the tires on the braking. That's a brilliant job. And we have Aldo who's wide behind Thomas, and we have Thomas who's wide behind Wossi. Wossi is not the famous Wossi who drives in MotoGP. It's Formula 1's Wossi. It's COS Wossi in McLaren, who is in P3 at the moment in the podium. And Georgalis does again a fastest lap of 136.3. Very good lap from him. And Tetsa is already 2. Well, he's keeping up with him. 2.2 seconds only. And then now Thomas is wide behind. But can he overtake in this corner? This is actually one of the overtaking spots. What he can do. We saw amazing overtakes by Ricciardo in 2014 to Weddell. Then we saw him overtaking Lewis Hamilton in these corner sections. Then next corner we came, this is where he overtook Valtteri Bottas to take the lead of the race and just running away, and Fallon receives a 5-second stop and go penalty. And we have 3 cars fighting. We're gonna follow Sammy Butterscop. We whip and run. He's moved up to P10. What a brilliant start from him when he qualified P16, and we have Fallon pitting. But we have a fight for top 5, fight for top 3. And Thomas is just following each other. It's like a game of chess. You need to wait until your opponent makes the maneuver. And we have Aldo going a little bit wide, but that's because of the dirty air. And Aldo follows them very closely. He has brilliant pace with the softs. I think it's smart for him just to follow these guys, or maybe overtake if he has a chance. What am I to say? I'm just a commentator. And now Tetsamutsu is 2.5 seconds behind. He's not losing that much, but Georgalis is driving brilliantly at the moment, saving his tires and using the rich mix where he has to. And we have 3 cars under a second of each other. Actually 2 cars, because Wossi is already 1.9 seconds behind Tetsu, but he has very brilliant straight line speed. He has a little bit set up for the downforce, and we have Thomas locking up his tires. We have Aldo following, and now we have Pofores, the Dutch mythology, following these guys. So it's a 4-way fight for the top 3 position. But as soon as pit stops come, we will see changes, and we have now Aldo and Thomas who are wide behind Wossi, but Wossi has brilliant straight line speed, as I said, but he's gonna run wide in these corner sections. No, actually, but Thomas runs wide. This is gonna stop his opportunity to attack Wossi. And we have actually Tetsamutsu is actually a little bit catching Georgalis, and we have overtaken for P7. We have side-by-side situation between Toyota and Red Bull sister team against the mother team. The mother saying to sister, you can't stay out late, you need to go to school tomorrow. And she said, yes mom, and she let the son go for P7. And now Pofores is actually losing to Aldo a little bit, and Aldo and Thomas are keeping up with Wossi. Maybe Wossi and Thomas soon gonna lose the pace on those tires, and we will see Aldo attacking them like a predator he is to the vulnerable Thomas and Wossi. We don't know, but it loses the car now. It's 1.1 seconds as soon as I said that. But we have Thomas who is still keeping up with Wossi, so it's not so bad. And Wossi is only 2.4 seconds from Tetsa, and Tetsa is only 2.3 seconds behind Georgalis. So Georgalis is not pulling away, but he's not burning his fuel or tires so badly. It's a lap 5 out of 28, and now we have a fight for John is actually catching for Fordes now. I apologize, he's not. I miscorrected that. But now we have cars following each other. We have but in China it's actually very easy to overtake. We've seen so many legendary races in China. The most recent, I must say, to 2018, where Ricciardo just had a storm and won the race. That was amazing. Which the virtual safety car was caused by the 2 Toro Rosso drivers, Hartley and Gasly, for crossing out, which brought up the VSC which caused Bottas and Vettel to pit, not to pit, and then both Red Bulls was pitting, and it was just Ricciardo winning the race. And we have a fourth comment now, Mauli saying, yo, good evening Mauli, you're watching COS TV, this is lap 6 out of 28, if you missed something, it's George Alice leading, Tezza in second, was in third, and actually qualification was Tezza, George Alice and Aldovo, and it's been a brilliant fight for all the positions. We have still Aldovo, who is keeping up with Thomas, but Thomas is a little bit pulling away, but we have to remember the tire difference, because it was raining in the qualification, the drivers could choose the tires they would start with, and we have Thomas who's keeping up with Rossi all the time, but there's not where to overtake, because Rossi has brilliant straight line speed, and we have Sammy Butterscup who's overtaken Ghost for P10 for a brilliant overtake by him, and we have a Whippen one, I think he's Canadian, he's now in P9, but the most successful Canadian since Lance Stroll. I mean, there was Jack Milner, but that was a 1-year deal, and we have David King who's catching up to Son, we have Son who's keeping the pace with Porfotis, it's only 6 seconds, he's been there all the time, 6 seconds. We have Thomas who's closing up on Rossi, but he can't get closer than 5/10. Then we have, actually Tezza is now catching George Alice, so now the tire difference is going to show up, and it's only lap 7 out of 28, and George Alice has to do maybe 3 more laps with these tires and maybe then go to mediums, or if he's very wise he would do 5 laps with this set and then he would go to soft tires. But of course it's gonna be different when the guy behind is catching. You want to do the undercut, because you know he's gonna go much slower than you, but he will have a huge tire advantage. It's gonna be 2 set difference between the drivers. It's gonna be very interesting to see when the race progresses what's gonna happen to these guys. And now we have Thomas who can't get closer than 6/10 to go ahead, and we have a Ghost who's keeping up with Butters. We have a great fight for P16 between Gensio and Kevin, Hungarian Kevin, and we have our only retirement who is Chris Logan, and we have Chris Logan saying, yeah, just responding to a new viewer, and Thomas is still keeping up with Rossi, and Porfotis is keeping up with Aldovo. Actually, Aldovo is not able to catch Thomas and Rossi, even though Tezza is catching George Alice, so it's still not his time. I don't know, is he saving fuel or is he not pushing? Oh yeah, he's not overfilled his car that much. I think he's just overfilled by 1 lap or 2 laps, but he's gonna be consistent always, but he won't have any straight line speed or in the end. Well, it depends how he's gonna play his fuel. But actually, Tetsumoto is catching little by little, 1/10 per 1/10 every time. Chris Logan writing, Eric, do you miss Jamie? Yeah, I do miss him, but coping, and we have George Alice pitting. George Alice can't take it anymore. He said, that's it, our tires are done. We have to box. The front lefty completely ruined, but they look very okay by me, but he's gonna undercut. What tires is he gonna take? It's gonna take soft, so he will be doing 1 more stop, because there's no way he can do 20 laps with this set of tires. Well, let's see where he's gonna rejoin. He's gonna rejoin the traffic. He's not rejoining in very good position. Well, luckily he gets ahead of Sammy Butterscup, but he's right behind Whippen 1 and David King. He's 1.8 seconds behind. Well, I don't know, Tetsumoto, he just has to drive his own strategy and then pit when he pits, and then take either mediums or super softs. I think the most wise option would be that he would drive for 10 more laps with this set of tires and then take the super softs and drive to the end. But I'm really surprised that George Alice pits this early in the race. I would imagine that he would have done 10 laps, and the engineers say, it says where you're gonna rejoin, and it says it's rejoining P9, so you're stabbing your own race by that. But let's see how quickly George Alice gets ahead of these traffic cars. He's right behind Whippen 1, and I believe Whippen 1 was a gentleman driver, so if he realizes the car ahead is much faster, he's not gonna jeopardize his own race. He's gonna let the faster guy go as George Alice tries to overtake up the inside, but Whippen 1, he goes a little bit wide, and amazing overtake by George Alice. And I forgot to say, George Alice is an excellent overtaker. I like his style. Let's see Whippen, he waves in a straight line. He tries to make the slipstream, but I don't think Whippen 1 is gonna try anything. And we have Thomas and Rossi pitting. Rossi, it's gonna be a pit stop battle. Who's gonna win? I'm gonna keep following Rossi actually. Whose pit stop is first? Oh, it's Thomas. Was it? It's the Williams pit crew versus McLaren pit crew. They're pitting both for mediums. Who's gonna get out of first? And it's gonna be Wassi still. So equal. Tie game between the pit stop guys. Williams up to see that Williams and McLaren pit stop crew is much better than the racing cars in real life. But now they'll be joining back in P11 and P10. There's a traffic ahead of them. There's Peter, Ghost, and Ripon one ahead of them. Now we have George Harris who tries the overtake of his teammates out on the inside. Is the David King gonna let him pass? Yes, he is. What a beautiful storm by George Harris. He's in a mission here tonight as he overtook his teammate easily. That's gonna be like George Harris and the inside line for the other two also as he takes the P5 position. Next up is Sean, who I've watched for a couple of races. Australia in this race is very aggressive, so maybe it's not gonna be so easy now. But nonetheless, beautiful overtakes from George Harris. And yeah, now we have soft guys doing their own strategy. They're not pitting yet. It would be very foolish actually. They would just jeopardize their own race. And guys, if you're watching, there's a couple of viewers. Actually, there's a lot of viewers. But still, write your memorable moment from China, from real life. I would like to know what's the most fucking I can talk. The most memorable thing from China from the recent years. And we have David King and Ripon 1 going side by side as Ripon 1 keeps the position still, or did he overtake? I don't remember, but David King is right behind him. There was a guy called Jordan King in the GP2 a couple of years ago. He was a very decent driver, but is this King gonna continue his legacy? He's actually P7 now, so he's not very bad, but he will drop out when he will pit. And we have viewers, we have a comment. I will check the comment soon, as we have David King who lost the position to Ripon 1, I think. No, actually he kept the position because Ripon 1 was ahead of Jojali. So yeah, now we have Wassi overtaking Ghost, and we have Thomas overtaking. Actually, Peter, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm just gonna call him Peter. Peter went wide, and that helps Thomas to get the position. And now we have Wassi who's right behind of. Actually, wait. Yeah, we have Thomas who's right behind of Ghost, and we have Chris Logan writing that Massa was king in China, wasn't he? I think he was king in Turkey, in Istanbul. Because he won in and let's see, Thomas lets his Ghost lets his teammate pass to P9 position. But yeah, I think he was the king of Istanbul because Massa won with Ferrari in 2006, 2007 and 2008 in Istanbul, and then I think he was P4 in 2010. But I remember was ever good in China. Now we have George Alice who's trying to who got past Sean, I think. Yeah, he got past Sean. Brilliant overtake from me. I just saw somebody waving. I just saw Red Bull waving a little bit. But anyways, the sister team is faster than the mother team. That's very embarrassing for Sean. Maybe Sean will get demoted to Towaso and George upgraded to Red Bull. Yeah, and we have George who did a fastest lap of 1:36 and flat. But this strategy is very interesting from George because Tetsa will do a one stop, and he's gonna lose if he has to catch massively to Tetsa, which is, but the gap is 18 seconds, so I don't think was it the right strategy from George Ellis. I do not know. Maybe he knows something we don't know. Maybe there's rain coming in the end. We don't know that. And now we have a position fight for P13 and P14, and it ended because Peter is pitting. And we have not any new comments. We have decent gaps now. It has to wait until the soft guys will pit. That means that from Tetsa to David King they have to pit still. That will change a lot of things in the race when it progresses, but it's only lap 11 out of 28. And now we have Tetsa has brilliant pace with the soft tires. I'm gonna follow George Ellis catching all the time to car ahead. He's in a mission here tonight. He just took 2/10 out of that corner. He's a very fast driver, I have to admit, but I don't know about the strategy he made. 2 stop in China, I don't think. The only play. Oh, and Tetsu's spinning actually. Why is Tetsu going to take mediums? Why on earth is he spinning this early? I remember that you could do in China like 17 laps with these tire sets, but he's bidding for mediums, so he's responding to George Ellis's undercut. But George Ellis will be hitting, so who is going to win the race? And George Ellis does the fastest lap of 1:36 point flat, which is very decent lap time. And now we have Tetsa, who's going to rejoin. Actually, he's going to just come ahead of Whip and One, so he will have a clean track ahead of him. And now we have actually Aldoa, who is the only guy who is not the pit from the top guys. And maybe I was wrong about the tire wear in this track. Maybe the tires only took like 12-13 laps, I don't know. But I just remember that I've seen many drivers doing like 18 laps with these tire sets, but maybe the strategies have changed, maybe times have changed from last time I did this track, which was 1 week ago. But hey, well, that was actually a very good song 1 week ago by Hot Nigga. The song "Bitch Came Around a Week Ago." Yeah, that was a really good song. And now we have to actually, this is gonna be a strategic race between Tetsa and George Ellis. Well, I don't think anybody else is gonna fight for the win. I think it's between the two guys. Well, I don't know about Aldo. Maybe if he's gonna make his first stint bigger, a lot longer. Maybe if he can do 6 more laps, he can challenge for the win. But he has to do the big mission to catch George Ellis and Tetsa. We have Tetsa, who's 6.7 seconds behind of George Ellis. George Ellis is pulling away a little bit, but that's normal because he has soft tires and mediums are starting to work after 10 laps only. And we have Aldo, who's spinning. So the driver was very big here, even though is it actually raining? Am I seeing right? Is it raining or not? And we have Aldo, who's taking the medium tires, and let's see where it's going to rejoin. And we have George Ellis, who takes the lead of this race. Now he just has to focus and continue where he left last time, and we'll see is Aldo going to rejoin behind of Thomas and Whip and One. Yes, actually, oh, he went outside it. No, he saved it. He didn't even go outside the track. He saved the car. Beautiful save from him. I think he would have gotten 5 seconds if he would have crossed the white line, but luckily he saved it. And now we have Rossi, who's catching David King, but David King hasn't done a pit stop yet. So 13 laps with soft tires. So yeah, the only choice is to go to mediums at this stage. I won't see that you pit 2 times for super softs, because it's no use, because super softs can do 7-8 laps. And well, maybe, but you're gonna lose so much time in the pits. And now, well, Tetsumoto is keeping up with George Ellis. No, he's actually saving fuel still. So it's, like I said, strategy fight till the end between these two drivers. And we have now Profedos, who's right behind Mebel. Mebel has been very, like, quiet driver tonight, if I must say, like ghost driving. I don't know. Now we have viewers coming up. Thank you for joining to COS TV. Do not adjust the TV sets. This is lap 13 out of 28. The fact of the matter is, and now Profedos goes wide. He is not gonna catch Mebel anymore. Mebel gets a little bit of breathing space, but George Ellis still has a pit stop to do, and Tetsumoto will not be pitting, but I guess George Ellis will be going on the super soft tires, and he will be rapid fast in the end, so it's going to be a brilliant fight. And now we have David King, who's pitting, who actually did Hamilton. If that was sand in there, it would have been race over for him. But now there's no sand anymore, which I'm very mad of. And now we have David King, who's pitting. David King is pitting, and now let's see what tires he's gonna take. He's going to go to mediums. Yeah, there's actually no point going to super softs yet, because he would have to do 1 more pit stop. And now we have side by side Son and Profedos, or is it Son and Footy? Yeah, Son and Footy, and it looks like Son overtook Footy for P8. Yeah, Son, very aggressive driver, but I like to see that. You're here to take your mark, you're not here to drive behind somebody. And now we have actually Thomas, who's catching to Rossi now. So this battle has been going on since lap 1. These drivers have been close to each other the entire race, but Thomas was very slow in the qualification because it was raining, but he's very fast now in the dry, so it might have been because of the setup, or because of the you don't like rain. We see that in real life. We see Kimi Räikkönen not liking the rain, we see Stoffel van Dorn not liking the, oh wait, he's not fast in the race. But anyway, this is lap 14 of 28, and we have Thomas, who doesn't get it. He gets to the race. It was 1.1 seconds, but it was behind the action zone. It plus 9/10, and now he opens his DRS, but it's not going to be enough. As I said before, Wossi's straight line speed is very remarkable here. He uses maybe low downforce setup, which I've been saying there all the time. And now we have we have adventuring. We have Thomas adventuring, and Peter gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And now we have Mabel. Yeah, Mabel, I don't know, he won in Australia. I said he's gonna be a big dog this season because he won by 20 seconds, but maybe it was just one race. It was maybe like the season 2007. I remember everybody saying Kimi Räikkönen is gonna win all the races till the end because he won Australia by dominant fashion. And then we saw he didn't win second wins until Silverstone, or was it France, but he won the championship still. But a lot of things can change in Formula 1. Australia might be your favorite track, but maybe if you go to China or Monaco, it might be completely different. That's why we like Formula 1. That's why this is the pinnacle of motorsport, because anything can happen. You have to always expect the unexpected in Formula 1. It's not like let's use an example like in football. You know, okay, Germany is there, Brazil is there, Argentina is there, and everybody else is like in a trash can. There are a few surprises like Belgium, but you always know who is the top 3. But in this situation, you never know what can be the top 3. Like we saw, George Ellis is now leading the race. He wasn't racing in Australia, but I said after Australia that it's gonna be between Tetsa, Thomas, and Mabel. And now George Ellis is leading the race, and Wossi is in P3. So we don't know how the championship is gonna go. This is very exciting race, and we go to lap 16 out of 28, and George Ellis is still with the soft tires. I'm waiting when he's gonna pit for super softs. He has 11-second gap. I think if he pits now, he could make it. No, he couldn't actually do. He has to do 3 more laps, but he's pulling away from Tezza. And let's see, George Ellis is not still. He's not pushing yet. He's saving his fuel and saving his tires, and maybe pitting in next 4 laps and doing the best strategy he can do. And now we have yellows in sector 2, and we have Kevin retiring. He just smashed to the wall. The wall is banging him. There's another victim car which has lost its innocence. And this is gonna remind me of CSI episode soon. The old wall harassing the young and attractive Renault car with a yellow and black livery, which is actually a song from Wiz Khalifa. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. But anyways, back to the race, and we have still yellows in sector 2. Charlie thinks it's not wise for safety car. Actually, safety car was taken off this season once again because the safety car driver was very aggressive. He took people out. He didn't do his job properly, so safety car drivers got kicked, and we don't have safety cars anymore. At least for this season. We don't know about the next season, which means the next game. And now we have Aldo who's catching Thomas, and Thomas is losing a lot of time to Wossi now, so maybe that mistake what Thomas made was very crucial for him. As we have views coming up, thank you for joining the COS Racing. Remember to subscribe and like our channel. This is very new league. This is only the second race of the league. If you want to join in, just PM Chris Logan. He's a very good guy. It's a very good league, and now we have 7 viewers actually joining. So I think viewers are joining. So I think the TUF race has just ended. I need to watch it afterwards. But it was Division 2. Division 2 of TUF. I think it was Hungary. I think Oxox and Apple were commentating. But nevertheless, George Ellis still has a 12-second lead over P2, and we have a Wossi who is keeping up with Tezza, but the gap is very big. He can't catch up so quickly. And now we have actually Butters who's pitting. Butters is maybe gonna pit for softs or super soft. You can do 11 laps with the super softs if you save them to the end. And we have Kevin Lee leaving from the session. And yeah, I don't know who's gonna win the race yet, because we have George Ellis who has to do another pit stop for super softs. And now we have an 8 comment. And now we have Darth Vader 007 writing, yes, he definitely misses me, aka Darth Vader, aka Jamie Dodger. Well, let's just say so now there's a 3-way fight between P14, P13 and P12. Let's give the backmarkers also some TV time, and now Foodie overtakes Jesse with the ease. Or is it Jensen? It's not Jesse Jackson, the black president of black people. Nevertheless, Foodie is right behind of Peter now, but it's for P12. Let's see, is there going to be a more interesting battle for P4? There is, although the mighty UFC fighter from I think he's his fan. The mighty UFC fighter from Ireland, the mighty Jose Aldo, and now we have Chris Logan putting laughing faces. But nevertheless, this is Formula 1. This is Aldo versus Thomas for P4, P5. We have a mighty Aldo fighting against the might of the Dutch Lion. I must say the next Max Verstappen, but he's in Williams, so there's nothing he can do about it. But yes, he can. If the driver is good enough, he can make the car 100% better. And we have Mabel pitting, and Mabel has been very, like I said, very well, silent driver here tonight. I would say, what's the from Harry Potter Ghost driver? Not Ghost driver, but like invincible driver. Like invisible, that's the word I was looking for. And now Aldo is trying to overtake maybe Thomas up the inside. Yes, he's a very aggressive driver. He does the Max Verstappen maneuver on the Dutch guy, and that Dutch guy is fuming up in the head, yelling the curse words, which I'm gonna blabber out now. Beep, 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 fuck, beep, 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 fuck, beep, beep. And now the Aldo took P4 from Thomas. Thomas has lost the position. He might be very furious now. I hope we won't see a revenge, but that was very, very audacious dive bomb by Aldo not showing any remorse to the drivers. No regards for human life from Aldo. What the humanity has witnessed here tonight. Oh, the humanity watching Aldo's dive bomb on Thomas. It was worse than I don't know. What was that German crash, that airplane crashed in 1936? The Heineberg, or I don't know, but still, Bossi is 7 seconds behind. Musa is catching now Georgialis, but it's now actually I might see Georgialis pitting. I don't think he can do 20 laps with a soft tire, so if he can, I'm gonna raise my hat for him. Then it's gonna be a mission impossible. Actually, one of my favorite movies of all time, starring Tom Hanks. What? No. What is it? No, it's not Tom Hanks. What the fuck am I explaining about? And now we have Prophet spitting. We have Prophet. How can I forget his name? Tom Cruise. Yeah, Tom Cruise. He's Tom Hanks. He's from Forrest Gump, but Tom Cruise in those Mission Impossible movies. And yeah, George Alice is. Now we have a comment, and now we have a quick cut to win. We can't afford the bailout. Yeah, I said Tom Cruise before you, man. The comments are, yeah. Tom Hanks is from Forrest Gump. I forgot that. But yeah, but Jamie, you know George Alice is very fast driver, so anything can happen. And it would bring a little bit of excitement to the championship if you have a new guy like joining to the championship fight. So there's nothing bad about that. And now Aldo is losing time to Rossi, and Thomas is actually putting up his tank mode and just attacking to Aldo, or maybe paybacking that dive bomb, that ridiculous dive bomb what he made. And now, yeah, Mabel, I don't know what happened to him. He's like, I'm actually pretty disappointed, I must say. I don't know, maybe the track is bad for him, but George Alice is pitting, Georgialis is pitting, he is pitting, and now we have Radio commentating, very fast and good guy, love the Greeks, yeah. Greeks for president, Greeks for world domination, and we have Georgialis pitting for Super Softs, and Georgialis is gonna rejoin back in position, which I do not know, but I hope it's ahead of Aldo, the mighty UFC fighter. No, it's gonna be behind Aldo, it's gonna be ahead of Son, yes, he is easily, but now he has to overtake Thomas the Tank and Jose Aldo from the UFC, and now he's the man in the mission. He's the man who's set a mission. It's like John Rambo, one man against the whole army of Vietnamese people, or the army of USA, because he fought against his own country in Rambo 1, exploding some cities. And Aldo, who did the fastest lap actually? Was it Mabel? Yeah, Mabel, and now George is right behind us, Thomas the Tank, and now we have Chris Logan commentating. Greeks are great people, yes they are. And now George is tried up the inside, but very impossible to try the overtake there. Yeah, he dive bombs, but wheel banging between Thomas and Georgialis, but brilliant overtake from Georgialis, and Georgialis is like Ricciardo in the race now, but we don't have the VSC, but he has super soft tires and against the medium, so are we gonna see an easy win from Georgialis, or is he gonna battle it in the end? And now we have Jose Aldo, he has to attack him very soon. He's from Ireland versus Greek, the alcoholics versus the Democrats. I don't know, they created the Democratic Society. which is actually BS. Democrat just doesn't work, and now we have George Ellis who tries to overtake on the outside, the most aggressive overtaker, and he spins George Ellis. He spins the George Ellis, and now we have Thomas the Tank who doesn't overtake. But yeah, although it's not very wise to try the dive bombs on the outside to Aldo, and I must assume that George Ellis is fuming up the inside now. He is that Greek blood, woke him up. Actually, I watched one of the James Bond movies, and I learned when the girl said the Greeks always revenge. And yeah, as I said, it pushes Aldo wide, so now it's 50-50. So Aldo, if you're gonna complain, don't complain, because you actually didn't leave any room up the inside to George Ellis. So now George Ellis overtook him. Now he has to catch Wossi and Teza. I think Teza's tires are gonna end soon. Gonna die soon. The tire is gonna kick in. Yeah, this is actually up 21 out of 28. This has actually been very good race. The time has went very fast because of the well, fightings in the track. And I actually hope that we're gonna see a fight for the win very soon. And we have now George Ellis catching Wossi, but how much tire did George Ellis lose because of that spin? That's the question. I think 6-7% maybe, but it's gonna be very crucial in the end. It's like losing 2 laps of tire advantage, so it's very big, because super softs are wearing out in 7 laps, so maybe he has 3 more laps to show his pace, and then that's it. Well, now it's already 1 second, so George Ellis is still keeping up the pace, and now Wossi is ahead of him. I must assume that George Ellis will try to maneuver. George Ellis' driving reminds me of a little bit of Max, a little bit of Senna, but maybe a little bit of more Max. But as we've heard so many times, we are competing to win. As he does the fastest lap time 1:34.8, we are competing to win. And the main motivation for all of us is not to finish third, fourth, fifth, or sixth, but to win. And now we have George Ellis who thinks he can win, and he pushes Wossi a little bit wide. No, he touches the tires, but Wossi and him go side by side, but there's nothing Wossi can actually do. The tire difference is huge, and now he's gonna maybe catch Teza Musa, the famous Teza from Japanese karate school. Hiya! The young sensei is asking the advices from the older senseis, from the great master of San Yu from Mulan movies. And now we have Teza, who is losing the time. I think he's sweating a little bit in that Ferrari. He could take the first win for Ferrari, Scuderia Ferrari, since... Well, I'm going to refer to the Sebastian Vettel times or Fernando Alonso times. I'm going to compare Fernando Alonso because Sebastian Vettel is... I don't know. But yeah, Ferrari, very historical team. Has won 7 World Championships. Michael Schumacher won 5 World Championships in Ferrari. Kimi Räikkönen has won 1 time, and I think 8 World Championships. Mike Hart has won the championship in Ferrari. Phil Hill has won the championship in Ferrari. Niki Lauda has won the championship in Ferrari. Kimi Räikkönen has won championship in Ferrari, and then we have Schumacher, who's won 5 times. So Ferrari has 9 World Championships. They have, I think, 18 Constructors Championships, and yeah, very historical team, many victories. Of course, Ferrari is remembered from 2000 and 2005 as George Ellis. That's another fastest lap of 1:34.7. He's catching 8/10 to Teza Musa. But yeah, Ferrari is being remembered by Schumacher's glorious years from 2000 to 2004, though actually dominating 2002 and 2004 seasons. And I apologize, I mean 2001, 2004 and 2002 years, but 2003 year he won the championship because Kimi Räikkönen got screwed over in that season. I remember especially the Nürburgring where his tire exploded, and I remember European Grand Prix where his car just broke down 1 corner before the end, and Schumacher won the title by 2 points. The future would have been very different for Michael Schumacher maybe if Kimi Räikkönen would have won in 2003, but anyway, so it's a fight till the end. Now it's 6.3 seconds, and George Ellis is will be doing rally drifts, trying to push everything from the car. He's very hungry. He's been leading most of the race, and he doesn't want to lose at this stage. I know the feeling when you do the most of the work, and then the guy behind just says, "Thank you for holding my seat. I'm gonna carry on now. You can go away." That's the feeling that you got when you lose the win after the hard work. When you do most of the work, you're the hunter, you're the catcher, the vulnerable donkey is ahead of you, but you have to overtake it. You have to catch it and eat it and may boil it and then get to your stomach, but it's not so easy. It's 6.3 seconds away. It's never easy. It's always that's why this is pinnacle of motorsport. This is Formula 1, and we have Thomas again catching Aldoa. Thomas, but he doesn't want to make maneuver on him because he knows that he might lose positions, as we have Mebel overtaking Ripper 1, so he's well, I think defensive win actually from this race, because not very easy race from him. I'm gonna see what lap time he does. He made a dive bomb, but still, how much he's gonna lose to George Alice? Well, almost 1.2 seconds. That's a lot. And now George Alice is not catching that much anymore. 5.9 seconds and 4 laps to go. So actually, I don't think both of these drivers they have any penalties. I'm gonna check it actually now. And only one warning for Tessa, and two warnings for George. Let's just say, oh, Rossi has a penalty. Aldoa doesn't have anything. Aldoa doesn't have any penalties in this race. So, and Aldoa is only 2 seconds away from P3. So it's going very close in the end between that position. Actually, 5.9 seconds, 5.7. He's not catching anymore that much. The timer is kicking in. Tessa has more fuel than George Alice. Maybe strategy mistake from George Alice, but I'm expecting those mediums to start working in actually now, because I'll say everybody knows who follows Formula 1 very closely and is a big fan. They know that the harder the set, longer it takes them to working. So even though if mediums show 60%, they are their best maybe at that stage. We have Aldoa who can't take a penalty, or else it's gonna be bye-bye for podium. It's 2.7 seconds still, and we have Thomas of course, so we don't know who's gonna get the last podium. But yeah, Thomas, I know he's an assist user, and Aldoa, I think I'm gonna actually check. He's gonna look up his tires. I think Aldoa uses some assists. I'm not so sure what assists he uses, but it's 5 seconds now. Now it's 5 seconds, so Tetsa is actually, he's probably watching the gaps all the time. He's asking Jeff to say me the gaps, come on. What's the gap to car behind? Does he have a penalties? Does he not have a penalties? But that's the thing. You have to keep your cool. You have to keep your head. And yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. And yeah, actually, the only battle now after 25 laps is between Thomas and Aldoa. And Aldoa is 3 seconds from Rossi now, and then we have is George Alice gonna be able to catch Tetsa in time or not. One penalty can actually change completely the result or the driving style, how they're gonna drive in the end. But that's lovely. That's very lovely. And do we have any fights for the last point scoring position? No, we have David King in P10. Let's give a little bit of time to the cars behind. They're not been showing in the screen so much, but that's normal when there's been whole time the fight for the lead, fight for the top 3 positions, top 5 positions. That's pretty normal. And we have George Alice. It's 4 points. And George Alice takes a 3-second time penalty. It's over. It's definitely over without any mistakes from Tessa or any lag out issues from Tessa. If he lags out, that's the only way he can now win a Grand Prix. And George Alice maybe realizes it, but he doesn't know how many penalties the car head has. And still, very unfortunate to see it. It would have been a great battle for the win, but that hard time penalty, as we have Mebel cutting the corner, also the last corner, it's actually very easy to cut. You put your whole car over the curb, and sometimes it gives you penalty, sometimes not. Depends how you take it, but very unlucky. But you have to extend the track limits a little bit to see where you can see how much you can extend, and that way to gain a little bit time in the track, because the more you extend the track, the more you're gonna gain, at least in fast corners. And now, yeah, Thomas is still behind Aldoa, but can't get closer than 8/7/10. Aldoa is 3.3 seconds behind Rossi, and he's struggling a little bit. Now I'm gonna check Aldoa. I'm not so sure does he have a traction or not. Yeah, he uses medium. And it's 4.5 seconds now, so it looks like Tessa in the Ferrari has won the race. Well, I don't want to jinx it yet. We've noticed how many times if you jinx the results, the outcome will change, definitely. And we have Fudi, still potential fight for P11 for the Golden Pineapple. Golden Pineapple Award will go to either Ghost or Peter. I mean, Ghost or yeah, Foodie. I apologize, Foodie. Yeah, it's just Thomas is still getting the DRS. It's gonna go to the last laps. He has to try something, but he has to always, of course, think of the championship because he finished P2 in Australia and now P5. You would have 28 points, and as you realize that you have your championship fighter behind you, it's still not going to be enough, but they're going to close up. I think after this race, Tessa will be taking the lead of the championship. 15 plus 25, that's 40. 25 plus 8, that's 33, I believe. Yeah, 33, and Thomas will have 28, so it's going to be 40. Yeah, 40, 40, 28, and what am I explaining? Yeah, anyways, I'm not good at maths. I need to calculate it always when I do my maths. Yeah, so yeah, okay, now I'm gonna say it correctly. Now I'm gonna say it 40, 33, and 28. So in P1 would be Tetsa, P2 would be Mebel, and P3 would be Thomas the Tank. I don't know why I call him Thomas the Tank, because he writes his name like Thomas. So, and I remember there was when I was a kid, I used to watch a program called Thomas the Tank, and I remember there's a few memes from him, Thomas the Dank memes, and that said like I remember we used to always do that in the army, do the Thomas the Tank Dank. And so they say that 5 times, but Thomas still keeping up with Aldoro as Tetsa starts his last lap of the race. George Alice is actually losing their time now to the car ahead. We will be hearing for the top 3, I hope, after this race. So we'll be having Rossi, George Alice, and Tetsa in an interview spot. I will be inviting them straight after the race, and yeah, you can write to the comments who has been your driver of the day now. It's actually very hard because position changes have been crucial, many position changes, and so many drivers rising up from their starting position from qualifying. But yeah, why your driver of the day? If nothing happens, well, no, I'm not going to spoil, I'm just going to say it in the end, so I will have something to cheer about. And yeah, Teza coming towards the back straight soon. We have George Alice following him. Even if he lags out now, it's not going to be enough. It's not definitely gonna be enough. And now he's coming towards the back straight, the second longest straight in the Formula 1 calendar. As we have a 13th comment, we have Chris Logan say was made 6th, 9th to 3rd. Yeah, he was here, and then we have Thomas also, who's risen up the positions. I have to think about it if I see the positions in the end of the race. And now Tetsa Mutsa is coming towards the final line, and Tetsa, you are a race winner. What a great debut, what a great drive. You are a race winner. I mean, debut as that, a debut win. So, and we have George Alice in his debut finishing in P2. He's very happy of that. Then we will have Rossi finishing in P2. I'm actually going to invite these guys immediately now. I'm going to start from the race. I'm going to invite George Alice. I remember that he was very difficult to invite to the parties. Apologize, he's gonna just take it to a second. I'm after yeah, I have to invite these guys quickly. Yeah, so for this, can you hear me? I'm gonna test. Now we have viewers coming up, but the race just ended. You need to watch it to the end if you don't want to have spoiler alert back out now. Yeah. So for this, can you hear me? I'm good. And now we have second place joining to a commentary to a driver's race interview. Good race, George Alice. Oh, George Alice has left this. George Alice, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you allow your voice to the stream? Do you know how to do that? Wait, you go to the party, and then party settings, and then you go to the allow your voice to be shared. Always allow.
Yeah.
Now we have to wait until the other two coming around. This is going to be the race podium interview, as we have a podium. Tetsamutsu winning the race, Jojalis in second place, and Wassi in third place. So we have two TUF drivers debuting and finishing in the podium. That's always very lovely to see. But we're waiting for Teza and Wassi coming up, and the final grid is Teza wins, Jojalis second, Wassi third, Aldo fourth, Thomas fifth, Mebel sixth, Rippenwald seventh, Son eighth, Fordes ninth, David King 10th, Ghost 11th, Foodie P12, Jensen P13, then we have rest of the grid, Butters, Peter, Felon, and we have two retirements which are Palmer and Chris Logan. And now we have a race leader joining to us. Teza, you won the race. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. It was a good race.
Do you have voice allowed? Do you have your voice allowed?
Yes.
Now we have to wait till Wassi. And now we have our debut driver, Wassi, coming in his debut in third place. What a brilliant drive from you, man. Remember to allow your voice to the stream. Wassi? Wassi, do you have your voice allowed for the stream?
Can you hear me?
Yo, Wassi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Do you have your voice allowed?
Do I have voice allowed?
Yeah, go to party. And then party settings, and then go to allow your voice to be heard. Yeah, we have to wait. I don't want that you guys' voices won't be heard in the stream. Is it allowed? Okay, now we can start. Thank you for waiting. And now, Tetsamutsu, first win of the season. You finished P2 in Australia. You won the race now. What are interesting strategy differences between you and Jojalis? Tell us about the race. Tell us about how the race went.
Yeah, at the start of the race, he got past me into the first corner, but I knew he was probably going for well, I hoped he was going for the two stops, so I was just playing the waiting game really until he went to the pits, and then when he came out myself, I could see he was on the two stop, so I was pretty comfortable from there. I felt I could hold on.
So even though Jojalis had fresh super salts, he had old mediums, you still had a feeling that you were going to win the race. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because I knew even if he was on the super softs at the end, he was going to be running out of life at the end as well, because not very tired.
Yeah.
China.
Yeah. Congratulations for the win, and you will be taking the lead of the championship after this race. But now, Jojalis, P2 on your debut. You took P2 in qualification. How are you feeling? How was the race? Can you tell us about the strategy you made? Why two stop?
But I didn't come up with a good start. There's best choice with one stop. I knew my setup like that were one stop, so I made two stops. I thought I visited the last thing with Aldo, and I did start the job at the end.
Yeah. Can you tell us about the fight between Aldovo? We saw you tried to overtake Aldovo at the outside and then you spun. What were you feeling at that time?
I didn't really say what happened exactly.
Okay. But still, in your debut, P2, and you both do very well. But Wassi, you moved up from P9 to P3. What a brilliant race from you, and in my views, you are the driver of the day in this race, even though these two guys were in first and second. But tell us about your race. What were you thinking during the race?
Yeah, thanks for that. I just had a really good start. I think I moved up to maybe P5 from P9. And then I made two great moves on, I think it was Thomas and Albo. And then, I just sort of, my pace was quite strong. I couldn't catch up with these two up front. They were too quick. And then I thought to myself, the medium's going to last because Georgia last pitted. And I thought, maybe because it was tyre wear. I knew he was going to come back, so I didn't really fight him that much when he come to overtake me. And then, it was just, apart from the start, it was just a controlled race.
Yeah, I saw you taking that penalty on some lap, and then I saw Aldo was 2.6 seconds behind you. Were you nervous that you're gonna lose the podium because you had that penalty?
I controlled. I had my rich mix. I think I had about 60 left on it. The gap was always about 2.6 seconds, and then on the last 3 laps I put it on rich, and I just managed to get the gap up just over 3 seconds.
Okay, but brilliant race from you. The podium position is always podium position. And still, one question for my race leader. You've been very consistent this season. Now, next track is Bahrain. What are you feeling about Bahrain?
Me?
I mean, Tetsa, the race winner.
Oh yeah. I like Bahrain. It's a good track. I'm not really sure what happened to Mebe today. I expected him to be up there. I'm sure he'll be up there. Bahrain, and there's beast moves to come back as well, so he'll be challenging up the top as well.
Yeah, well, and thank you for our viewers for watching the race. Remember, I'm just gonna say now the top 3, the championship standings in this after this race are that Tessa leads the championship, Mabel is in 2nd place, and Thomas is in 3rd place. Thank you for everybody who joined. Remember to watch this race afterwards, and we'll see you again on Wednesday when the Bahrain is on. So on 2 days, we'll see you again, and bye bye.